Welcome back everyone to Let's Play Broken Sword Smoking Mirror Remastered. I am Classic Gamer, and last time we went to see Professor Ubier, was ambushed by his butler apparently, and we managed to track down Andre Lovino. Yuck. Music's a bit loud, let's just adjust this. We ambushed. We came and saw Lovino. He gave us a clue to an art gallery, and we're going to go there now.
Now I had another lead. I could either go back to Ubier's house or visit the GLEASE gallery. The GLEASE gallery had style and class, but very few customers.
Now this bit is actually quite a funny thing. If you have a look at some of these artifacts, you get some quite funny responses.
I couldn't believe it. The pots were marked at 5,000 francs each. As far as I could tell, the pots were almost identical to the one I'd found in Ubier's house. At that price, I wasn't going anywhere near those pots. The wasteland. Too minimalistic for too much money. The wasteland. Too minimalistic for too much money. Rectangles in a desolate landscape. Highly cubist. Spheres in a barren waste. Oh, very profound. I could see a pattern emerging in this artist's work. He was a pear-shaped guy with a fine display of multiple chins. He looked like an older version of Labino. The same supercilious expression, the same disdain in his eyes, and the same damned ponytail. It was a machine for reading credit cards. I had no possible use for a credit card reader. It was a sturdy packing case.
Excuse me, sir.
Uh-huh.
That area is private.
Oh, so I'm not allowed back here?
No, sir.
Okay, so you can't go back there, but we will be able to very shortly.
Excuse me, there really is nothing to see back there.
Okay, I get the message.
It's rather a mess, sir.
Let's save, shall we?
The guy was watching me like a hawk. The glass was half full of wine. The way that guy was gripping the glass, I'd need a wrench to get away from him. Are you Mr. GLEASE, the owner?
Good God, no.
Then I guess that must be him over there, right?
Your powers of deductive reasoning astound me.
Have you heard of Professor Ubier?
Yes, of course.
I was at his house earlier.
If you're going to drop names, you could at least name one worth dropping.
I thought Ubier was a well-respected man.
Why, his last book was nothing but pseudo-intellectual claptrap. The demented ramblings of a drug-dependent has-been.
What's that you're drinking?
I'm not sure, but I have a suspicion it might be urine. GLEASE can't expect a favorable criticism of his gallery when he serves this muck.
Would you give me your opinion on this pot, sir?
Yes. Very rapouche.
Rapouche?
Hideous.
What the hell do you think you're doing? You smashed my pot.
Certainly, it was not only worthless, it was ugly and offensive.
To you, maybe.
Believe me, I was doing you a favor.
What's the difference between my pot and all those other pots?
Yours is broken.
Why, you smug, pompous sloth.
Sticks and stones, dear boy, sticks and stones.
I wasn't going to waste any more breath talking to that pompous blimp. Maybe I could turn the situation to my advantage, and at the same time, get my revenge. I'd had enough of talking to that slob. A valuable relic of an ancient civilization lay smashed on the floor. The pot had smashed into too many pieces to retrieve. I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Certainly, sir. I'd be most happy to oblige.
You're English?
These days, one prefers to think of oneself as European.
Sure. Whatever you say.
And how precisely may one assist you, sir?
Have you heard of Professor Oubier?
Of course. His name is synonymous with Mayan art. A number of these artifacts were supplied by Oubier himself.
Do you believe the story that Oubier murdered his wife?
If it was true, who can blame him? She was an opportunist tramp. Well, that's what I heard.
Have you seen any of Oubier's wife's films?
Only one. Believe me, I was appalled, shocked, disgusted, and repulsed.
Well, you sure got your money's worth. Last time I went to the movies, I wasn't even titillated.
Okay, so let's continue, and I'm just going to get to the end of this bit as quick as I can.
I suppose you have an import license for these relics?
Of course. But that's not my problem, sir. The professor arranges all the shipping. We simply collect the items from the docks.
Do you get many Central American Indians in here?
No, sir. This is Paris. Central America is several thousand kilometers southwest of here. Straight across the Atlantic Ocean and turn left. You can't miss it.
Well, as it happens, I saw some Central American Indians this very morning.
Tourists, sir. Paris is full of them at this time of year.
Could you tell me which docks Professor Oubier uses to import the artifacts?
Good God, no. I can't possibly reveal my commercial secrets.
There is a gentleman over there who seems to be enjoying your wine.
I can't think why. It was very cheap.
I found this news story referring to a total eclipse of the sun.
Really, sir? Well, fascinating.
I have some questions I'd like to ask about those pots.
The Mexican collection? Certainly, sir.
Where did you get them from?
Mexico, of course. I think, sir, we'll find the price extremely reasonable.
Hey, I'm not interested in buying them.
Oh, I see. In that case, you'll excuse me.
What I really wanted to ask you about was a black stone.
A black stone?
Yeah, it's a Mayan artifact, about as big as my hand.
No, sir, one doesn't get much call for black stones. If it's Mayan artifacts you're interested in, I have some rather exquisite pots.
So did I, until that slob smashed it. There was nothing else I wanted to ask the man. I'd had enough of talking to that slob.
Okay, so we can't ask GLEASE, and they've taken out of this game as well bits that were actually quite funny. But if we use...
It was the flask of absinthe I'd borrowed from the gendarme. I splashed a little absinthe into the glass and hoped he wouldn't notice the change of color.
Did you put something in my drink?
Yeah, I did. Well, what do you think?
Well, it's certainly an improvement over GLEASE's wine. In fact, I could grow to like it.
There was nothing else I wanted to ask the man.
Use the absinthe again on the glass and watch the result.
Allow me. He was out for the count. I wasn't going to waste my breath on that drunkard. GLEASE wasn't happy, I could tell.
Were those pots very valuable? The pots are insured, but not the shelving. You've no idea how much that cost me. Go away.
Okay, so remember these girls over here, you get a funny conversation with them.
The girls were in a world of their own. Hi, girls. What's the joke?
あなたはキレてですね。
Okay, fine. If I wanted to be laughed at, there was always Nico.
Okay, so now we can go.
It was the letter to Nico from that creep Labano. Sickening.
Let's go and have a look at this over here. Actually, no, we'll save it.
There was nothing in the case but styrofoam packing, but pasted on the side was the remains of a label. It was a sturdy packing case. The packing case contained nothing but styrofoam chips. Underneath the logo of a flying bird were the words Condor Transglobal Mars. The rest of the label was missing.
Go away.
Ah, so you can't do it. Well, okay, so let's look at the newspaper article and you'll discover something quite... Well, I'm going to start the game again. As there's something I'm going to do. I'm going to end it as we go to our next location and then start it out on a new location. So I'm going to do each recording on new locations, and then when I'm ready to go to a new location, I'll pause it, I'll save it just before that, and then I can start it at the right time. So let's have a look at this.
It was the newspaper clipping referring to the imminent eclipse. Wrapped inside it was another small piece of paper. It was a bank statement for Ubier's account from an automatic telling machine. The last 5 withdrawals were for large amounts, and all made in Marseille. It was beginning to make sense. Ubier had organized Nico's abduction. Ubier withdrew money from Marseille. Ubier was connected with Transglobal, who shipped their goods from a warehouse in Marseille. That's how the torn Transglobal label had once read. Marseille, not Mars. It wasn't much of a lead, but it was all I had. I set off immediately to catch the evening train.